Lesson number 7. I see only the past. I see only the past. Lesson number 7. Get my mic on there. This idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there. I see only the past. So, how do we, so, in the concept that I see only the past, the problem is that the way that we define ourselves as human beings is partially through our memories. So we define ourselves both by this tangible reality that we're a part of, that we are perceiving with this body, but we also define ourselves with our memories. Our memories lead to people identifying things for you and you then knowing what that thing is. So we are constantly living in a duality of time. We're living into a triality of time, actually. We're projecting into the future what I'm going to do, where I'm going to be, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to eat, who I'm going to meet, where I'm going, blah, 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 all of those different kinds of things. We're also living in the conscious now of knowing that in order to get to that future step or state, I must walk here, I must do that, I must get on the train, I must get in the car, I must go to work, I must get up early, I must get up a little bit later, all of those kinds of things. We're also planning the now to move us or maintain in some way or to create the future. But we're also constantly living in our programmed past to define what we are moving. So the Kyle that I know, the Kyle that I am, is simply this being's definition of the past. And the past that this being identifies this body and this identity and this experience as is known as Kyle. So I see only the past. When I look at myself, I see the past because I have memories which are more of the past, of myself as a child, as myself as a teenager, of myself when I was in my 20s. I see myself constantly in the past. Yet, I know that I am in the present even as I plan for the future. So, this is all really, this is started where the course is really starting to work on dismantling the way that we sometimes blithely just move through time without really thinking about our thoughts in time, our perception in time, our relationship to time, and why we're relating to it in that way. So you're like, okay, Kyle, this is really beautiful and esoteric. But, it got really metaphysical there for a moment about just the continuum of time. But how do I apply this to today, to the now that might be the past as I project into the future? So, I see only the past. When I think of the fact that I see only the past, I can then identify that seeing is merely a thought. Now we're starting to really open up. Because if my seeing is a thought, if my memories are a thought, and my thoughts are things that I am, the I of me, of Kyle, can be detached from, neither good, neither bad, sometimes they just are. They just are. So when I think I was about 12 or 13 years old, my cousins and I were playing, and one of my cousins threw a rock, and the rock hit me under the eye, and I have a little small scar there from it. So I can identify, remember where it happened, remember we lived in Brooklyn, we were out by Coney Island. I remember the day it was, and I remember going upstairs, and I remember how close it came, and my parents and his mother and my aunt freaking out about it and everything. I remember all of that. That was the past. Now, how I feel about him today might have to do with some of that projection of the past, of how I see him in the past. That's not necessarily who he is today. So I may release that. I may say, something, it was a game, it was foolish, it was children, it was an accident, it's over. Thank you. It's a thought. It's maybe a special kind of thought because it's a memory, but it's still just a thought. Even how our brains work, this is really wonderful how our synaptic paths work, is that the way that this is actually, I'll go into this, the way that we remember stuff is not that we remember the stuff. What we're actually remembering is we're creating a memory of the memory. So when you have a memory, you're not having the memory. You're having a memory of having the memory. And then you're having a memory of having the memory of having the memory. And then you're having a memory of having the memory of having the memory of having the memory. So we're constantly kind of building this layer cake. And every time we build this layer cake of memories, sometimes we alter it a little bit. So, was it a big rock? Was it a little rock that he threw? Was it on purpose? What was the gleam in his eye when he did it? You know, he never really liked me. It was on purpose. It was an absolute accident. He was aiming for my